Hey there, it's Pete with the Thrift Store Rundown, and I'm really excited to welcome you to a very special series kicking off this November. It will span the entire holiday season. It's also quite possibly the most massive undertaking in the history of TSR. I know I said that about a dozen times over the course of 6 years, but this, my friends, just might take the cake. There's good reason for that. Next year, the Walt Disney Company will turn 100 years old. Yet it's already gotten the party started. The recently held D23 Fan Expo laid out all the groundwork for Disney's Centennial Soiree, 100 Years of Wonder. Around these parts, while we recognize that Disney isn't a perfect company, no major media corporation or entertainment conglomerate really is, we also recognize that it takes a certain amount of guts and staying power, not to mention just a tiny bit of magic, to entertain families, never mind enchant and inspire generations over the course of a century. That should be celebrated, if not observed at the very least, with great fondness. On that note, I welcome you to the wonderful world of Disney Deals, which will commence Wednesday, November 2nd. The first Wednesday of November. Wednesday's Wonderful World of Disney Deals. You like the alliteration, huh? Oh yeah, I have a knack for these kind of things. While the 9 items you see on my table only give you just a small fraction of the massive hodgepodge of Disney-related items I have in store for you in this series, I think they give you a pretty good representation of just how many avenues will be explored in the Disney universe. So let's run it down. First off, we have here Disney Eats in the Cookbook section. More than 150 recipes for everyday cooking and inspired fun. Over the course of the first 3 weeks, you'll be seeing 3 Disney cookbooks back to back to back. Disney Eats will kick off the series as a whole, and then we'll move on to a cookbook for families with type 1 diabetes. November is, of course, when we observe Diabetes Month. And we'll also check out a classic Family Fun magazine cookbook from Disney Family Fun magazine. Once the cookbook reviews are completed, we'll go from 5 videos per week to 4 videos per week, and we'll continue with the standard cookbook reviews on Saturdays away from this series. Here we have Disney Magazine's premiere issue from summer of 1994, around the time The Hunchback of Notre Dame was in production and eventually released. Speaking of magazines, in the vein of Disney Magazine, and by the way, this isn't the premiere issue, meaning that it's the first. I own a much older Disney Magazine issue, and you can check that out by clicking the link below. There will also be a playlist for all the Disney items, including these ones, and many more coming in the series. But we also have 2 Disney Parks magazines in the pipeline for you guys. Here we have Walt Disney, his life in pictures. There would be no Disney without Walter Elias Disney, folks. I feel like we owe him some measure of homage. And in terms of these kind of books, in the vein of Walt Disney, his life in pictures, I have The Ride of a Lifetime by former Disney boss Bob Iger, and I'm also thinking of redoing Work in Progress by another former Disney boss, Michael Eisner. You remember him best on TV for introducing the wonderful world of Disney and Disney Sunday Movie, its many iterations across many different networks during his tenure as the boss of the House of Mouse. On the far end here, we have Frozen, the Sinner Story. I'm not going to go into too much detail on the Disney children's books, but let's just say they range from Hannah Montana to Doc McStuffins to Pirates of the Caribbean and a lot of other things. So you definitely ought to check that out too. Now to the bottom layer. Here on the left we have Monopoly Junior Disney Channel Edition. Oh, speaking of Disney Channel, from sitcoms to DComs, Disney Channel original movies, we got you covered. I mean, we're talking Jessie, we're talking 16 Wishes of Radio Rebel, which will commence 3 whole weeks of me gushing over my biggest Disney Channel babe, Debbie Ryan. Oh, baby, it's a real mind trip for me. We'll also be bringing you Geek Charming with Shake It Up, all in one package, with just a tiny smidgen of Pretty Little Liars. Remember, Sasha B. TSR starred in Geek Charming, and she's best known for Alice de Laurentiis on PLL. Going down here, we have the 2015 Children's Guide to Walt Disney World from Birnbaum. It's the official guide for kids to checking out the happiest place on Earth. I got a lot of Walt Disney World content for you guys coming up. From a Modern Marvels episode all about Walt Disney World, to a 1998 guide to some of the best attractions in the happiest place on Earth. You'll want to check that out too. Now on to Disney movies. I already covered Disney Channel original movies, but come on, I gotta insert at least one big screen production, and that would be this, a favorite of mine. And my most favorite Adam Sandler movie, because usually I could take him or leave him. Bedtime Stories. I appreciate this even more because it has one of the newest loves of my life, Courtney Cox. Wendy here, Monica in a land far, far away, Central Park. Now we move on to soundtracks. Tron Legacy by Daft Punk. In addition to this, I got the Academy Award nominated soundtrack for Ratatouille by Michael Giacchino. And just as a fun change of pace, the Disney Channel Phineas and Ferb soundtrack. Oh yeah, now that's destined to be a classic. In terms of oddities, well, we got Mickey Mouse. Mickey Mouse plushies are so commonplace in thrift stores, it's actually kind of laughable, but I know Disney wouldn't be Disney without Mickey Mouse. We will never lose sight of this one thing. It all started with a mouse. And so he will be the guy to bookend this entire thing. He will serve as our series finale. So there you have it. These 9 items giving you all clear representations of the many different routes we're taking in this Disney series. I would advise you to check out the description below, because in the future I'm going to be updating that with a full schedule, a full list of all the Disney related items that are going to be in this series that'll span a couple of months, the entire holiday season. It depends on how many items I got. I got to take full inventory. But keep in mind, I also have a 4-pack Descendants book collection. And I'll be reviewing the 4 Descendants books, including the Villain Kids Guide, separately. But I'll give you a general overview about the entire 4-pack as we go along. But other than that, if there are any other Disney items I come across that I deem as cool to enter into this series, make sure to add an addendum to the description below, and you'll see a new updated schedule. And of course, this is where you come in. No request is too extreme, as the Disney signature song When You Wish Upon a Star states. So if you have any requests for any Disney-related items that you want me to check out, leave them in the comments below. I already got one on record for Hannah Montana Mall Madness. As soon as I find that, again, I'll be bringing it to you. And I'll also be bringing it to a mall to film and review. That should be a fun one, huh? Even though I've already done Mall Madness before. So that's it. Have you ever wished upon a star for someone out there to bring you a touch of Disney magic without tugging at your pocketbook too much? Well, guess what? Come November 2nd, your wish will be granted. All I ask is that you like this video, you share this with your fellow Disney fans, and again, if you have any requests for Disney-related items you want me to check out, leave a comment below. I'll put them on record. Above all, make sure to subscribe and click the bell, because come November 2nd, starting at noon, we're gonna spread a heck of a lot of golden magic without spending a lot of green. Or should I say, platinum magic. Either way, thank you for joining me for this special preview show. And now, for a future favorite component of this series, a customary sign-off. So incredibly simple. Listen. Dreams do come true. On the flip side!